Sprowston's firefighters are fully trained to turn out with the county's chemical incident unit anywhere in Norfolk. Ever mindful that they might have to spontaneously break off to go to an emergency call-out, Greenwatch's manager has planned a hazardous materials training incident in the fire station yard.
You and Jason can grab a suit each, get a set ready. All we have is 3 discarded containers. There's no obvious markings on them at the moment. Establish what the contents are. On a day like today, you're only going to have about 15 or 20 minutes, okay? Okay.
The type of hazardous materials that we're used to are those that occur by accident. Unfortunately, we live in a society now where there's several well-publicised groups have threatened to use or have used chemical attacks. The authorities have recognised this, and now the fire service is in a much better position to deal with that, with large mass decontamination units distributed around the country who can respond at very short notice to provide the kind of protection and decontamination that might be required in the event of a terrorist atrocity such as that.
Engine control from Alpha 1, over.
Road traffic accidents involving tanker lorries carrying flammable liquids or industrial chemicals can be seriously dangerous. But the hazards can usually be quickly identified from the labels the lorries have to carry by law. More difficult are abandoned drums, which may not necessarily have labels. The firefighters have first to approach the potentially dangerous drums without having the first idea what's in them.
Ascertain what the chemical is, over.
Fully rigged up in the CPS, the chemical protective suits, we will go and try and ascertain as to what the chemical actually is, the chemical name, quantity of the chemical. All that information is recorded and then passed to the incident commander, who can then find out more information, either going through control procedures or by using our mobile data terminal, which we carry on the CRU.
We're going to take this back to them now.
Search, that's giving us sodium hydroxide solution, which is the most likely. Hazards are corrosive, attacks metals, and gives off toxic irritant fumes. Protection will be chemical protective clothing. Additional precautions: avoid personal contact. Spillage may be diluted, but avoid contamination of water courses, which suggests we will have to block the drains. Decontamination, copious amounts of water, so we'll use the shower for that. Okay, and we'll have a printed copy of that.
True to form, the exercise has not quite concluded when an emergency call comes in.
RTA trapped, Major! Where?
In seconds, Greenwatch are on the road.
Might as well be you. You do trauma again, Gav, please.
Suddenly, the situation worsens when the news of a second road accident comes over the radio.
Right, guys, just been informed that there's 2 incidents ongoing on the same bit of road. One on the Acle Straight, one on the Blowfield bypass.
The control centre prioritises Sprowston to attend the RTA on a dual carriageway, where a car appears to have rolled over several times.
Can I have a situation update, please?
Yeah, just one vehicle. Nobody trapped at the moment. We're going to make the vehicle safe, over.
Yeah. She's a lucky girl.
Yeah? How many times has she gone over then, do you reckon?
A few, I think.
What we obviously got is the vehicle has been travelling down the dual carriageway. It appears to have left the road, and looking at the damage to the vehicle has gone into rotation, rolled over. The female driver has sustained cuts and bruises only at this stage, but obviously as a precaution they'll take her to hospital. It would appear she's been extremely fortunate.
The driver's seatbelt undoubtedly saved her from serious injury. For the firefighters who regularly have to deal with serious injuries at road traffic accidents, failure to wear a seatbelt is a zero-tolerance issue.
It frustrates me all the time when I see parents and people who aren't using seatbelts, and they clearly have very little idea of the kind of problems that they're going to create. I don't claim to be the world's greatest driver, but I do have a clear understanding of physics, and when one large mass hits another large mass at speed, all you end up with is a whole world of pain.
Back at the fire station, there's little time to pack up the equipment from the interrupted chemical incident exercise when another emergency call comes in. An automatic fire alarm has gone off in a care home.
Without a doubt, every house should have a working smoke alarm. If they don't have a functioning smoke alarm, their chances of escaping from a fire in their home are so greatly reduced. We'd much rather turn up to a fire in its early stages rather than be carrying bodies out the front door.
Arriving at the home, it transpires that cooking the evening meal accidentally set off a smoke alarm.
That one there?
Okay.
Most commercial and residential premises would have a system in place, an AFA, an automatic fire alarm system, which would detect a fire in its very early stages. Personally speaking, I would much rather that people had these detection systems and were bothered every now and again by spurious alarms rather than not have the detection systems and take the consequences of that.
Greenwatch's final turnout of the day was a false alarm, but it makes no difference to the way the firefighters treat every call-out as potentially life-threatening.
There's a huge element of expectation as well as anything else to try and get this right. But that's, again, one additional pressure that we have is that when people are experiencing that sense of chaos, then they have to be able to believe that we can come and help them out in some way, shape or form, and I would expect that from my colleagues in the other emergency services as well.